Welcome to Motorsport at the Movies. I'm Jake Sanson, and this week it's time to look at a world where Grand Prix racing is much more in your face. The Japanese comic strip Speed Racer got the big screen treatment in 2008 to tell the story of a young boy's dream to one day become the top Grand Prix racer in the world, which he eventually ends up racing in, with some assistance from friends and family, including his little brother and his pet chimpanzee. Stay with me, this is going to be an interesting one. The Speed Racer story began back in 1992 when Warner Brothers producer Joel Silver announced he had the rights for a big screen version of the anime classic. 2 years later, he'd hired two stars for the leading two driver roles, singer Harry Rollins and, incredibly, Hollywood sensation Johnny Depp. Crazy or what? But it wasn't long before both were gone from the project, following the departure of then-director Julian Temple. Once he left, so did everybody else. Over the next few years, several attempts were made to resurrect the film by the likes of Alfonso Cuarón and even J.J. Abrams, Lawrence Shuler Donner, and Vince Vaughn of all people. Talk about a non-starter. To make this movie really happen, it needed true genius. So enter Andy and Larry Wachowski, the creative minds behind Bound, The Matrix Trilogy, and V for Vendetta. Their incredible bullet time and green screening masterpieces made them the perfect choice to bring this cute and cuddly Japanese TV classic to the big screen, especially considering this was an extreme twist on the motorsport genre in every possible respect. So, it wasn't long before Andy and Larry, or Lana as she is now known of course, took the reins and set about making a visual and colourful masterpiece with great action and racing sequences, and a little boy with a pet chimpanzee. I told you, stay with me on this one. The cast would have to work both for petrolheads and family audiences to be a success. So, enter Emile Hirsch in the title role, who watched every single episode of the original show to get the character right. His love interest was portrayed by forever young starlet Christina Ricci. She never ages! Nobody messes with John Goodman, and so his role of Pops was always going to be awesome, and we've never yet seen Susan Sarandon be anything other than spectacular. Racer X needed a strong presence, hence the appointment of Matthew Fox from the TV sensation Lost, while the Korean singing sensation Rain played their Japanese rival Togokan. You need a good pantomime baddie, and they don't come much better than Roger Allam, who was epic in his brief role in V for Vendetta, whilst there's also a young boy with his pet chimpanzee. You know what, it really doesn't make sense after all. Family Film and Wachowski brothers had never been in the same sentence prior to Speed Racer, and so we were treated to visual theatrics and a colourful explosion the likes of which cinema had never seen before. But as it's a kids movie, in essence it needs to have big crashes, cool looking cars and lots of non-stop action. To make a world that would keep kids entertained needed a lot of CGI, even in the background. So once again the Wachowskis deployed their trademark green screen, only this time every colour in the palette would be needed in the finished article, not just green or blue. This movie contains three key elements that make it deliver its prime objectives. Colour, yes, there's quite a lot of that. Action, quite a lot of crashes then, as it's a racing film for kids. And Kung Fu. Oh, come on, you can't have a Japanese anime film on the big screen without Kung Fu! And even these scenes look like they've been lifted straight out of a comic book. Nice work. When Sin City was released 3 years earlier, it was a walking, talking graphic novel. Well, Speed Racer is the kids' comic book brought to life, and in every way, shape and form, it's done beautifully. But for me, it's only worth 3 out of a possible 5. The motorsport is quite ostentatious and would never happen like that in real life, although there are a few scandals, and that's very motorsport. But if you're not ready for the mass colour exodus and comic book style pace, it can hurt your head after a while. And in terms of budget, it was a commercial failure. But if you can keep an open mind, it's probably the most psychedelic movie that's ever been made in cinema history, and you might just learn to love it. Well, that's my opinion, folks, but what did you think? Was it top-notch or a flop watch? Was I too harsh or too fair? Let me know your opinion with the comments box below. And of course, give me your suggestions as to which movies you'd like to see reviewed in the future. It could be one of these. I'm Jake Sanson for RaceWorldTV. See you next time.